Hey Lulu gang, it's a beautiful triumphant Tuesday. My name is Shelby. I'm not a professional. I use intuitive guidance to assist in healing on earth. I research, I read, I discuss, I learn, I grow, and I love to share that with all of you. I try my best to take what I learn and put it into words that are easy to utilize for your purpose here on earth. Always remember this is your journey and you can accept or reject anything that you want. So for today's video, I'm gonna just go ahead and do makeup so I don't have super high anxiety. I'm trying to learn how to look at the camera the right way. I learned that when you're filming for YouTube, you should turn the camera horizontal instead of vertical. So we're trying it out. I have to like focus to look at you. Anyways, instead of looking at myself, of course, you know, because everybody wants to look at themselves when they're filming. Anyways, today's video is about shadow work. I'm gonna get into where does the term shadow work come from, how to use shadow work, how to spot your shadows. I'm gonna give you some journal prompts and some tips about shadow work. If you utilize this video and everything that I mention in this video, it could potentially be life-changing for you, honestly. The biggest point of the entire video is journaling. So get ready to journal your little heart out, because that's what you're about to start doing if you want to do shadow work. All right, so let's start with the term shadow work. Where does it come from? So basically, shadow work is a psychology term. It's been used for centuries in psychology. It's a practice. It means, this is from Wikipedia, in an analytical psychology, the shadow is either an unconscious aspect of the personality that the conscious ego does not identify in itself, or the entirety of the unconscious, everything of which a person is not fully conscious. In short, the shadow is the unknown side. So that's the Wikipedia definition of what a shadow is. So shadows are formed through repression. For example, when you're younger and you know people disapprove something from you, like maybe you liked something or you were interested in something, and you know people around you, they were like, oh no, that's stupid, and they put you down about it. This is how a shadow is formed. Typically shadows are formed in childhood years. So that's where you hear of the term of like healing your inner child. Basically, you're healing your inner child when you do the shadow work. You repress and increase the things that were approved of. So that's basically what happened, is when people approved of certain things, you increase those things and repress the things that people were saying like, no, that's not cool, or that's, I don't like that, you're too emotional, you're too dramatic, whatever the case may be. So even though we suppress these things, it's still, even though, like, you know, when we were younger, we suppressed those things that people said were not, they didn't like, it still has the potential to affect us in our day-to-day lives. So, you know, we start to build unhealthy patterns. We are, you know, trying our hardest to do certain things and we just can't do it. We can't achieve that state that we keep trying to achieve. That's how these things start to affect us in our adult lives. We build unhealthy patterns and we're just not understanding why we can't stop them. That's because of this shadow that was formed, or this situation when you were younger that was repressed. Right, so the next thing I have there is we become adults and fall into unhealthy patterns, not understanding why. So that's the next step. And then we feel like we have two parts of us, you know, one that is us, and then one other part that takes over when we're triggered. Like, so when we're mad, we get out of control. We have, you know, we react in ways, and later on we feel bad about it and we're like, that was not me. That's another identifying determination that you have, you know, shadows to work on when these things are happening. So basically, I'm going to move into how to spot a shadow. So you knowing what a shadow is super easy, you know, but we need to know how to spot the shadow, right? Because that's the hard part, is actually starting to work on these shadows. So we keep hearing about, you know, shadows all the time on TikTok, on YouTube, on, you know, Facebook, all these spiritual sites. They're always talking about shadows, but we don't know how the hell, where's my shadow at inside me? That's the question, right? So the best way to determine that is awareness. You need to start having awareness. Like, it's really, I mean, I'm going to break it down for you more, but it's really not much, there's not much else to say about it, is that you need to start having awareness of your actions, of your thoughts, of your emotions, of everything. And, you know, that takes practice, that takes time. You know, it's not just like, oh, I want to do shadow work, so now I know all my shadows now. I know every single shadow that is in my body because I want to do shadow work. No, it takes time. You have to journal, and you have to observe, and you have to get through days and situations in order to reveal those shadows. So the first way that you can spot a shadow is through projection. So we tend to project our shit onto other people, right? So you're going to start paying attention to things that you don't like about other people, or things that you point out in other people, because that right there is going to be the exact shadow inside yourself, because we tend to not like other things and other people that we don't like in ourselves. So how to spot a shadow is through projection. The minute that you're projecting your shit onto somebody, you can say to yourself, oh, Shelby said that was a way to see it was a shadow, so I know that's a shadow. I'm going to write this situation down because I didn't like, you know, Susie's makeup today because she liked it. And I think that I look horrible in makeup, so I didn't like her makeup. You know, like, that's how you start to work on shadows. You just start to reveal it to yourself, what's going on. And you write it down. I mean, that to me is like such an important fact, is to write these things down in a journal. You need to start journaling. If you want to do this shadow work and you want to get somewhere and you want to have some real triumphants, like Triumphant Tuesday, then you need to start using your journal. A journal, pieces of paper, whatever. Just start writing it. The next way that you can spot a shadow is through triggers. So anything that triggers you, a trigger is a reminder of past trauma. It's also a clue to what isn't healed within you and what is buried deep inside your soul. If you catch your triggers, you should try not to act out, like try to catch your triggers before you act out. You know, that's the goal, is to catch the trigger before you act out. But if you act out, that's fine. We're going to move on to journal prompts that you can use when you do act out to your triggers or to your situations that are affected by the shadow. You can use these journal prompts to stop doing that, stopping the cycle, because you're bringing light to the shadow. So then the next way to spot a shadow is through your repeating behaviors, your patterns. When you start going through repeating behaviors or cycles, unhealthy cycles, and you're trying to break free from them and you cannot, there is some type of, it's making you become aware of what each trigger that allows you to fall into this repeating cycle or this repeating behavior is going to make you aware of your shadow, because those triggers are connected with your shadow as well. And that's where you start to journal and write these things down, so that way you can bring light to the shadow and heal the shadow. So basically, shadow work is, I love this term, it's making the unconscious conscious and the unacceptable acceptable. Okay? The more you shine a light on this shadow, the smaller it's going to get. There's some more ways to spot a shadow that I've seen from another article. All of the articles that I research are going to be referenced in the description below, so you can just go ahead and, you know, check it out for yourself and read the entire article. If you have, you know, in situations, if you have lack of confidence, if you're afraid to speak up, you're blaming external circumstances, you have weak boundaries, you have a fear of putting yourself or your creative work out into the world, if you're not doing what you know you want to do or what is good for you, if you're having money and success issues, judging people who make money or are successful, if you're having relationship issues and drama, attachment, anxious, or avoidant styles in your relationship, any reoccurring fears are deeply connected to your shadow. When it's hysterical, it's historical. I love that, right? When it's hysterical, it's historical. Okay? So now we're going to move on. Let me make sure. Oh no, we're not going to move on to the journal prompts. There's some key tips. You need to pay attention to this, okay? Please pay attention to this. When you identify your shadow, never shame your shadow, okay? It is a beautiful piece of who you are. Don't shame it and don't blame it, okay? You need to give it love, compassion, and acceptance. Your shadow was born from pain, rejection, and non-acceptance. So that's not where we're trying to give it. If we want to heal it, we need to give it compassion, love, and understanding. Acknowledge and observe your shadow without any judgments. Don't judge your shadow, okay? Again, it's a beautiful piece of who you are. These are important factors. We're not doing anything with judging, blaming, shaming. We're doing all things with love and light. So just remember that, okay? So now we'll move on to journal prompts that you can use to start to activate this shadow work, okay? If you're just like, you don't have any trigger situations, you're not acting out, and you just want to just jump right in there full force, you can get out your paper, get out your pen, and just start with these journal prompts, which are also referenced in the description below. And just start, you know, working on yourself. So here we go. Was I accepted as a child? How did I feel most of the time as a child? What was expected of me? What behaviors and emotions were judged by my people? What do you dislike or even hate about the people in your environment? What fascinates you about the people in your environment? Who are people on social media that you dislike or even judge? Who are people or celebrities that you idolize and why? Here is some journal prompts that you can use for when you have acted out in a situation, like you were triggered by something and your shadow overtook you and you were like, oh, that wasn't me, I didn't really like that. You can immediately pull out your journal and ask yourself these questions and write down the answers. So the very first one is, what am I feeling? Okay, and you're not going to use no bullshit words like, I'm feeling I can't even think of a bullshit word because I've used psychology so much. I'm feeling, I can't even think of it. Anyways, here's the list of actual feeling words. You need to use actual feeling words, okay, of what you're feeling. You need to go through the list. If you don't know what an actual feeling word is, it's okay, because I used to be the same way when I was first going through therapy. And you need to stay away from bullshit words and use real feeling words. And then once you identify the exact feeling that you're feeling, then you can say, why am I feeling this? And journal about that. Then you say, what belief or story is attached to this emotion? I'm not, so like, for example, like, I'm not good enough. My feelings don't matter. I'm not lovable. You know, things of that sort. Those beliefs, those stories. What belief or story is attached to that feeling from the feelings list? Does this feeling or situation remind me of something from my childhood? That's a very important question. Feel the emotion in your body, sit with it. Once you've journaled, feel that emotion in your body, sit with it, connect with it. meditate with it, and give it the space that it needs to complete its cycle and to end. It's all about developing a sense of curiosity for your inner emotional world and seeing your emotions as information. So that's it. That's shadow work. So that's all you need to know. Like, I literally went through all these different resources to get this little video together for you guys. That's all you need to know about shadow work. And then now it's your turn. Like, go. Just go do it. You just get out your journal and do it. Reference the description below with the journal prompts and just start doing it. Please, like, just start doing it. It's going to be life-changing, I promise you. You will rapidly start going through your spiritual awakening and you will feel like amazing. Even in the situations where you don't feel amazing and like you're having a hard time, you're going to be okay because your shadow's not taking over. You're truly at peace. Your ego is not directing your movements or your thoughts, so you'll be able to deal with it with a clear mind and be able to receive intuitive guidance because your shadow isn't blocking it. Okay, so I hope that helped you, and I will be posting another video today. If you have any other questions, please ask me in the comments and I will make videos for you. Just let me know. I'm trying to come up with ideas for myself and it's kind of hard, but hopefully it's helping you. I hope you guys have a wonderful Tuesday and you start doing that shadow work. Let me know if you need any help with the shadow work. Let me know if you started the shadow work, and please subscribe so you can see my next video, which I'm posting every day.